All right, always follow proper safety procedures when using jacks. Yeah, use the correct tool for the job, sure. But I finally got my tire after like 3 weeks. I haven't had time to run out there. I don't know if we can't do two things at once. I don't know if we said something about that or not, what happened, but I guess the bucket cylinder is in need rebuilt. But what's happened here is I ended up, I still haven't got it unloaded, that drill box we got when I was trying to put it in the shed so it didn't get rained on. I ended up backing over something, just barely rubbed it, and it popped the tire. It put a big gash in the side of my almost brand new trailer tires. So sure, why not? And with everything that's been going on, I haven't had time to deal with it. But Dad needs to borrow this trailer now, so guess I'm gonna make time. Got the tire back on, and I'll chain up this box and just lift it off of there, and then that'll get us going today. I really want to get that other drill out and just slap this right on there, but who knows when that's going to happen. So we'll have to figure out what to do with this in the meantime to keep it dry. But that's not all we're going to do today. I got a phone call the other day from that guy whose 1650 I worked on. And you remember in the video how I said it's tapping pretty aggressively and I think it needs attention, and he wasn't worried about fixing that right now? Well, he called me and he said, you need to come look at my 1650. I think it's got an exhaust leak and I want the clutch adjusted. Well, I'm afraid it's a lot more than an exhaust leak, and if it's gotten bad enough that he has said something about it, it makes me wonder how bad it's actually going to be. But I've got plugs and wires, because I know it's probably going to need that anyway if it's salvageable. But I'm going with the intention of we're going to be pulling the valve cover off and finding either a bent push rod or something. And if we don't find something in there, I'm worried that it's going to be like a burnt valve, take the head off kind of thing. At this point, who knows though? It could be like wrist pin bushing. It could be a full-on knock. I don't know what it is, but it's loud enough that he took notice of it. So we're going to go over there and see if we can't sort out what it is right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Ross the Oliver Man, amateur videographer. That's why you get great camera shots like looking at the ground a lot of the time. We're loaded up with stuff to do though. We need to finish this, so that's on our list of things. But like I said, our main goal today is going to be 1650 of sadness. So we're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna just have to. That's where we are. So I'd like to get this off of here right quick, and then we'll go over there. So just give me a minute and then we'll head that way. Oh, super cheap, super duty. I have to say, it acted up the other day. It kept telling me that the driver's door was ajar, and it wasn't. And I'm wondering if, when we had that 4 inches of rain, whether moisture somehow got down to like, I think the body control module is inside the cab over on the floor. And I've heard of stuff like that happening before to these trucks, where like you'll look out and the windshield wipers will be wiping even though everything's off. So I don't know if it was something like that, or whether it was just a fluke, or what the problem was, but now it's fine. so more power to it. But otherwise, it's been pretty decent. I really wonder what I'm gonna find over here. I'm sure it's sadness, but you just never know. But I'll bring you back when we get to it. Look at it in all its glory. Well, there's no rod sticking out of the block. There's no oil running out of any of the area that we worked on, so that's good. There's some very thick, a little bit of oil. We're gonna have to pull this sheet metal off, I'm sure, but as good as this manifold looks, that's why I know that it's not, yeah, we know. Oh, now she don't want to run. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Or thought it would be. Let's do some experimental. Oh, sure. That didn't really change it at all. That changed it to when I was here that it was probably number 1. We can go ahead and pull that plug and see what we see, but it was trying to fire when I pulled that out, but nothing was happening. So I'm thinking that we're gonna see what happens. We might also take this side panel off. Yeah, before we pull it apart after a while, we're gonna put it in the shed somewhere, because yeah, pulling it apart in the yard doesn't make a lot of sense. But I am gonna check this over out here. And then I forgot to bring the new spark plugs and wires, I bet you. I left them in the seat of the escape. Luckily, this isn't that far from home, so. But we may be. We're probably going to be in a lot worse shape, though, so. The valve cover gasket's leaking. I mean, it needs. Should we even check the air filter? Because I have a feeling I know what it is. I might be wrong, but I'm probably not. Oh, that is not turning easy. That is turning like a plug that was put in sometime in the 80s. Oh, sadness, friends. I brought the ratchet. I guess I could go get it, but I like this because it gives you the option of angling it however need be. I think we're finally getting somewhere here. I also lean towards the fact that I bet you the head gasket's blown. That's why the next we start simple, you know. Every time we start with the positive outlook, like we're going to just have something simple. But based on how it acted when I drove it the last time, I kind of think the head gasket is leaving the chat. It could be a burnt valve, but we're gonna fire it up again and see what's taking place here. If that spark plug will fire, good for us. And then we know we're gonna see if it's actually putting out compression. We're gonna put you to the side so you don't take it right to the face. Well, that is not what I expected. It'll be a puzzle, don't worry. You know how it goes. What could that be? It doesn't match the engine RPM. Hear it every so often. We gotta take that valve cover off. Something is not right. I can feel it up here when it does that thunking. But that's bizarre, because it doesn't do it with regularity like you would have a you know, like if you had a bearing going out or something, where you would hear the constant pattern that matched your engine RPM and get worse. So we're gonna have to take that off and see, maybe we got like a broken spring or something bizarre, or the side to side one's jumped half off. I don't know what to expect, but I think our next step is taking that loose, because something ain't right. I'm gonna put the side panel on just real loose and drive it over to the shed, I hope, and that's where we'll tear her down. Okay, we made it to the shed. Interestingly enough, if you step on the clutch with it at an idle, you can still hear it making that sound. And then just letting off the clutch is enough load that it starts getting harder. So I don't know. I want it to be in the valve train, but it could very possibly be like a wrist pin bushing, but that's not really the sound that makes, because I've had them do that before, and they sound more regular than this. This is like your engine is running at 1 RPM, and this knock is every so often at a slower go round. So I don't know. I'm gonna take the battery cable off because we're gonna be here a while. In other words, I mean, I'm gonna be leaving it probably tore part way apart, so we want to make sure that I mean, you would think if all the sheet metal was off, people would not use it, but you just never know. So now that it's good and hot, I'm gonna make it hard to work on. I guess it could be a burnt valve maybe, but it's not regular in pattern. Another thing I'm wondering that it could be, which would be bizarre, and I've never had that happen on a running motor, but some of these had aluminum rocker arm towers, and I wonder if one of those broke, if that would bounce up and down every so often at a different pattern. So, because I can feel something in the valve cover when I okay, stay. Whenever I do the thing, I can feel it tapping in the valve cover like something wants out. And that's odd because everything in there isn't made in a way that it would want out. I don't know. But it could be that, you know, I don't know. This is very likely though from our governor meltdown, you know, when they were using that and that governor blew up, it was screaming, I'm sure. And I bet you they ran it too long and something else let loose, because I could hear a little tapping last time and nobody seemed interested in that. So here we are now, and they're gonna be interested in it because the time is now. I mean, maybe the damage is just limited to, I don't know, maybe it took a chunk out of a timing gear and that piece is clacking around in there, but I think it would do either lock up or something more terrible would happen. I don't think it would just keep going like this, because, oh my goodness, are we gonna twist that off? I don't think it's attached anymore. All right, that side has a screw, so I'm gonna have to get this screw out, because that cap or corner of the hood is actually still connected. That's kind of unusual based on the rest of the machine, that one thing would survive. But what I'm saying is 99% of the hood corners are broke on tractors you see in the wild. But I'm also not sure how far he's going to let me proceed before he shuts it down and says it ain't worth it. I don't know. Maybe he'll say fix it no matter what. I don't know. But we're going to have to find the problem first and then tell him what we think, and then he can decide what we want to do, because yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is he bought it new, but I don't know that he has a lot of sentimental value on stuff. I don't know. And this whole horse is pretty rough. So is it worth it? I don't know. See that? Now I'm in a pickle because I'd really like to keep going, but that is burning hot. What are the chances that you'll come on? Well, it's junk anyway. It's rotted out down here. Ah. That's broke loose. The body is broke loose from the. I'd say if the tractor is salvageable, a new muffler is in order. Woohoo! Uh-oh. Have no water in it either. That. Okay. Well, the radiator's not going to light bulb, so let's see if we can cheat a little bit. Well, we're getting down to it. We got to take on that one bolt. That's bizarre too, because why would that travel up in that one spot? Everything else is totally dry, but that's what's happening. It's going up the threads and coming out. Weird. 9/16. See, his manifold is just darn near excellent. Like I would say, it's been replaced. So, and I kind of knew that from last time. That's why I was skeptical when he said it's got an exhaust leak. I knew that's not what we were going to find, because it was just too good. And then it's got some stuff going for it though, you know. I hate to see a tractor left for dead. I mean, but it's gonna take money to fix it. And some people, all right, we found what I hoped we would find. This is broke across here, and a push rod jumped off. So we were still getting some compression, but that accounts for our miss and that sound we had. And also that's the one that was leaking oil out onto the top, so a little bit of everything there. So I'm gonna take this apart, and then I might still have one of these on hand, but I know I can get them new, I think, still. So I might just do that. I need to get a gasket, and we'll pull that push rod and make sure it's not bent. But I don't think it probably is. I think the problem was it's just busted, and that could have happened when it over revved from the governor. I don't know. So we'll pull this apart. I'd say it's also earned an engine oil change before we're done. Especially since I just noticed that's a CarQuest filter, and we haven't had a CarQuest in town for probably 15 years, so sure. Oh, we're also gonna get him a muffler, because that muffler is junk. It's rotted out. All right, time for the big reveal. If we can get this off of here. I think it has pounded those aluminum things into submission. And I don't know if I'm going to get that loose off of there. How much of it is still attached? Well, there. We're going to have to... How are we going to get this out of there? Well... I've never had to do it this way before. Never had. Okay, come on off of there. I wonder if we need to look this over very carefully, because I'm worried that there might be some damage. Son of a Knudsen. There. I wonder if that's broke. It's just acting goofy. Yeah, I bet we're getting a problem here. Come on. Come on. Come on, let loose. Yeah. Oh, what fun. That's hysterical almost. Not really. Well, sadness happens, friends. There. Just like that. We're taking it off in pieces. I've never seen that happen before. That's nice. Well, like I said, we're not even done assessing that yet. I gotta have a minute. I want to check this push rod. I think it's good. I don't don't think that's push rod's bent at all. Let's pull one from a different hole. I think its push rod's good, even if it is tweaked a little, which I don't think it is. But even if it was, it's not enough where it's gonna hurt anything. So, I'm going to, well, let's grab this piece of sadness. And we're just gonna take this with us, because this is not, that's broken. And that's broken. So what I'm thinking now is that his cheapest bet is going to be that I find a whole assembly from a junk tractor, because yeah, that's just the way it is. I'm going to put this cover back on to try to keep the dust out. I'm going to thread these down and then I'll put the top ones on, because I mean this could be weeks. I don't know how long it's going to take me to find all that, but I don't want to lose any of the fine threaded stuff. So yeah, that might seem crazy, but sure. So I think we can call this the end of part one. Luckily we found what it was, and luckily it shouldn't be too expensive. It'll probably be expensive, but not, you know, $5,000 expensive. It'll probably be $1,000 to $2,000 expensive, which is better than a motor rebuild of $8,000 to $10,000. So I don't know. So I can say that I'm happy for what I found, because I don't think it's, what I'm saying is we can recover from this, you know. We might have to grab one of them too. I don't know. We'll sort that out. But at any rate, I know what we need now. I'll hunt the stuff down, and sometime in the future we'll come back and finish this. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.